At Tesla, we don't make slow cars. Okay, do you want to see the car? Yeah! Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool's somewhere. All right, let's bring him out. If there's ever sort of a apocalyptic scenario of some kind, hypothetically, you just press the bioweapon defense mode button. This is a real button. Yeah, we're trying to be a leader in apocalyptic defense scenarios. So actually what's important here is, survives a nuclear explosion, or you get a full refund. Okay. Full refund. It'll be the biggest building in the world, biggest single building in the world by footprint, and second only in volume to the Boeing factory in Washington State.
It's really, really huge. And if you sort of think of something that maybe you're familiar with, like a 747, that's pretty big, right? Well, we can fit about 100 747s parked in the footprint of this building.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, I mean, we can fit 50 billion hamsters. So this is a roof that's going to be better looking than a normal roof. It's going to last practically forever. Like I wanted to have an infinite year warranty, but then the finance department said, well, that's difficult to account for. So I said, well, okay, it's infinite or when your house falls down, whichever comes first. Really fundamental message that consumers should be taking today is that it's financially insane to buy anything other than a Tesla. It'll be like owning a horse in 3 years. I mean, fine if you want to own a horse, but you should go into it with that expectation. I went to, speaking of crazy things, went to Russia 3 times to negotiate a deal to buy a couple of the largest ICBMs in the Russian fleet. A strange experience.
How do you even get into that negotiation?
Well, you talk to people who know people, and pretty soon you're talking to the Russian rocket forces, and they. It turns out Russia's quite a capitalist society.
What would be your mediocre superpower? An example of a mediocre superpower would be, one of the best ones we've ever gotten is this guy who wished to temporarily detach his arm while spooning with a girl. Sometimes it's staying.
That's what he wants to do with a girl?
What is artificial? It's right there. What are you talking about?
AI, artificial insemination.
But it is.
Depends on who you ask.
If we create some sort of silicon-based life form, but it acts like a life form, it has a desire. What?
There was, I think in Australia a few years ago, an artificial insemination lab that had a bunch of like bulges stored in canisters, but it like overheated, and so you had basically exploding bulges all over the place.
Really?
And the headline was "AI goes wild." Related anecdote that we went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
Talking about humans on this rocket going to Mars?
Sure, yeah.
So, are there any dangers? I have read that there are radiation.
Are there dangers?
What could possibly go wrong? That's ridiculous. Come on.
Hi, Elon. I'm John Younger, and I have to say,
pour some more wine here.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, this is going to get better and better as the.
It is.
But then after we had the Model S and Model X, I thought it'd be pretty funny if we had the Model E. But then like Ford threatened to sue us. Ford killed sex.
Franz, could you try to break this glass, please?
Sure? Yeah. Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Should we try on the board?
Sorry? It didn't go through. So that's a plus side.
Let's try the right.
Try that one, really? Okay. Sure.
Oh, man.
It didn't go through. All right. Not bad. Room for improvement. we did actually throw everything. We threw wrenches. We threw everything. We even literally threw the kitchen sink at the glass, and it didn't break. For some weird reason, it broke now. I don't know why. Just fix it in post.
I think within the next year, we'll be able to land the rocket intact. We'll be able to land the rocket, just not intact.
If you could take one person to Mars, who would it be?
But we're not like have to populate the planet or
No,
anything.
no, you don't have to. It could be a
someone extremely fertile.
So let's go back to another bet that you made with yourself, I guess. I mean, a kind of crazy bet. You'd made some money from the sale of PayPal. You decided to build a space company. Why on earth would someone do that?
Got that question a lot, that's true. People would say, did you hear the joke about the guy who made a small fortune in the space industry, and he, obviously started with a large one as the punchline. And so I tell people, well, I was trying to figure out the fastest way to turn a large fortune into a small one. And they'd look at me like, oh, is he serious?
Thank you for anyone who's bought our flamethrower. You will not be sorry, or maybe you will. It won't be boring. There.
Yeah. Actually met a woman I dated briefly in college who now works at Scientific American as a writer, and she related the anecdote that we went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
So it was a bit of a monologue, was it?
Yeah, she said the first question I asked her was, "Do you ever think about electric cars?" She said, "No, she never does."
So you learn from that. That wasn't the best shout-out line.
Wasn't great. But it has recently it's been more effective.
There you go. I know this man.